Good morning. My name is Karen Wiese, and I am the Director of Student Financial Planning, along with the Associate Vice President for Institutional Research. My job today is to help you and your family figure out the financial aid process, the billing process, and a few other things at Morningside. The first thing I'd like to do is share a little video with you, a little PowerPoint. And so let me get that up and running for us to work out. And you'll see me a little bit, but then we'll kind of walk through the process. So, as again, I wanted to just welcome you and work with you as we move forward. The first thing I want to have you do is log into our campus web system. Most of you should have already received this information, but you can go ahead and log into campus web and we'll walk through a few of the screens that we have available for you and your family. Again, you should have received a username and password either from the financial planning office or the Office of Admissions. As we kind of log in, initially, you guys probably saw the prospective student dashboard, which would have just kind of a welcome and a little checklist of admissions information that we would need you to do. After taking part in enrolling for classes, you will now have a new dashboard, which is called our student dashboard. And that gives you several different options along the left-hand side that you can start seeing once you're a student. And the middle section is kind of things that we need you to do before school starts. So you'll see a financial agreement, federal funds, miscellaneous use authorization, Title IX information, meal plan selection, and of course, a video just like this. And so if you kind of get into this and need to have mom or dad come in with you, you can restart it. You can actually review it again, and that will be on our live link here on this website. We're just going to go ahead and get started with a few of the forms. The first form that you can click onto and just read through is our Student Financial Responsibility Agreement. And that just goes through what we are required by law to have you kind of take care of. We are extending you credit until your bill is paid. And so by taking care of this and filling this out and reviewing it, it shows you that we do charge late fees if you haven't paid your bill prior to September 30th in the fall or February 15th in the spring, or even July 31st in the summertime. This agreement goes through what we bill. We do charge 18% a year, 1.5% a month. If you do pay your bill with a credit card or debit card, we do charge a 2.75% convenience fee, but that document does go through all of that information with you. It is just one of those requirements that we have to kind of share with you just to make sure you know what you're signing up for. So that's kind of the business part of it. Another thing that we do is we want you to definitely take a look at this. Federal funds miscellaneous use is really just an authorization or not for what we are allowed to use your federal funds for. So, for example, you might receive a federal Pell Grant or a student loan, maybe an SEOG grant, something like that, maybe even a federal Teach Grant. If you charge anything other than tuition fees and the standard room and board, we need your permission to use those federal funds to pay those expenses. So that might include books or parking or things like that. Another thing that we have you review is our Title IX information. And that is just, again, another federal disclosure that we're required to share with you, that we are non discriminatory and all of that information. We provide you a couple of links for more information if you want to look further into that information. You can do that at any time. The other form that you are probably a little bit more interested in and a little bit more fun is just a little bit of letting us know where you're planning to live. So this meal plan is actually also a validation form. And what that does is it tells you to tell us, hey, I'm going to live on campus, or maybe you're going to live off campus. If you live on campus, you're going to tell us which dorm you're going to live in, kind of more information about you, your cell phone, things like that, your parents' email if appropriate. There's a few other questions. If it's appropriate for you, please check those. And then if you are again on campus, it does give you all the different full meal plans that we offer to your family. So please take a look at those and select which one you feel is best appropriate for you. Kind of to describe the differences, there are definitely some meal plans that are, for example, block. So they give you so many meals per semester. And then as you use those, then it just takes it off your total. Other ones are more per week. So if you try the 14 meal plan per week, that's 14 meals served per week, or the 19 meals served per week. And so all four plans also have a little bit of money to use at our snack bar, which is called our Mustang Grill, as well as our coffee house, which is our spoon holder cafe. And so that just kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. The business office does allow you to change your meal plans for the first week every semester, and then it's kind of locked in for that semester. It works a little bit different for students who are living off campus. So if you select the off campus option, it does allow you to confirm your address for us, your contact information like your cell phone and things like that. It does ask a few other miscellaneous questions that if they apply to you, you definitely want to click on those. And then it does give you those options for the full meal plan, but most of our commuter students really just choose that $50 plan at the bottom. So you are required to each have at least $50 a semester in food bucks, but you sure could have more than that if you wanted to. And so it does allow you to do that. If you ever want to add food bucks to your account, then you would just notify the business office and they would help you with that. Then again, the video. So again, we will be recording this, as you know, sharing it with our students and our parents and our families. But we wanted to have it out there in case you wanted to fast forward through some parts of it and review some of the information that we're sharing with you and your family today. So that will also be available for you and your family. You can watch it once, you can watch it multiple times, but that's just out there to again assist you and your family. Another thing that's really important on the left-hand side, like I said, there's a few other things that are really important for you to look at. This is something that parents usually like. We call it the My Info Release, and that's where you authorize us to share information for you on your behalf or about you on your behalf. And so if you don't fill this out, that's okay. But then the only person that we can speak to about your financial aid, your billing, your grades, or anything else including anything in your educational record, is you. And so if you want to fill this out, you can do it for mom, dad, you can add more than one, etc. You can put mom and dad together on one line if they live at the same address. And so definitely fill this out for anybody you'd wish us to talk with or talk for or with on your behalf. So for example, if mom calls in and asks for your balance on your student account because she wants to send in a check, we can't tell her after school starts unless you've given us permission. Or maybe grandpa's helping you and you want grandpa to be able to see some information or visit with us. So, this permission to release educational information form is really for anybody who wants to call in, stop in, visit with us personally about your information. Then we have the right to talk to them if you give us permission. Another way to add access is something called parent access control. And that document actually, or that electronic form actually allows you to authorize four individuals to log into your account electronically, but you control what they see. So, for example, the description might be mom, and you might give mom the password of 1040. I mean, who knows? But you might tell her, Mom, all I'm going to give you permission to is my bill so you can pay it. Or Dad, I'll let you see my grades. So the username is still your username, but the password that you give them actually controls what they see. So if you give them your username and password, guess what? You've given them access to everything you have. But if you want to assign mom a certain list of things she can visit or see, and dad a certain list of things he can see online, then this is how you would do that. Now, this is completely separate from anything that you would do in the information release screen. So, for example, that information release screen that we just saw is literally for us to visit with them face to face, personally, or over the phone, or maybe even through email or something like that, where this is where they have the ability to log in and actually see your information. And so, again, you can give up to four people access to your information, and you get to control what they can and cannot see online. So now we're going to get into the fun stuff that I enjoy. So we want to talk a little bit more about your financial aid and what you can expect in the future. And so basically, this document where it says My Financial Aid on the campus web screens and you click on Forms gives you anything that you may have submitted to us. So it'll tell you that, for example, this example is FAFSA received on 1/18/2021, but it says this student has a few other things that they need to complete on our behalf for us. And so it might be a verification worksheet where we need a few verifiable items from the government. And in that one actually just is very simple. You click on that link on the additional information side and you'll fill out your name, your address, some family member information, if you filed tax information or not, and then you actually can submit it at the very bottom of that screen where it says to securely submit files to financial aid, click here, and that actually sends it to us securely through a system that we have to make it more convenient for our families. Many of the things that you'll see here too, like the Stafford Entrance Counseling or the Stafford Master Promissory Note, that literally you just click on that link and it will actually bring you to the correct website for you to complete those things electronically. And then the government notifies us when you've completed it and taken care of it. Once we get that notification, then we'll actually put a little note in there that we've received it, and it'll say that you've done it and we've received it on such and such a date. So this is kind of the financial aid screen and how to kind of monitor what we still need from you or your family. Now, as you get to be moving forward in the future, there might be different academic years listed up here. So, for example, for a returning student, you might see 2021 or you might see 21-22 information. So, you just want to make sure you click on the right academic year that you're looking for to move forward. Once we get those missing forms, we can complete that financial aid form, or excuse me, the financial aid awards on your behalf and just confirm everything. This example of my financial aid awards is an example of a student who hasn't completed those verification documents. And so it's pretty clearly says in red ink on the right there, check the forms link for documents needed to finalize your financial aid award package. Once that student has turned those in and we have time to review it, then that red message will go away. They'll be allowed to click on their terms and conditions and that they've read those and then go ahead and submit. Now, all of the submit does is tell us, hey, she's read or he or she has read those terms and conditions. And then the next screen will pop up. You will actually be able to look at an estimated cost and payment options document, which we'll go through in just a minute. But more importantly, it already says, hey, you've accepted your grants and scholarships. Now, please go ahead and let us know if you want your work and or loans. So for each fall and spring, you can actually pick and choose up to the amount listed how much you want. So this student might tell us, Karen, I don't want my work study, so they're going to change the fall and spring to 0. Another example might be, I don't want that unsubsidized loan, so they might change one of those to 0. You can literally have 0 to the number that we've awarded to you. And so just let us know how much you'd like, and then go ahead and click down that I've read and verified the information and go ahead and submit it. Once you submit it, you'll actually get a full document of things that you've accepted. Again, you can click on those estimated cost and payment options or a summary of your financial assistance. It'll tell you, of course, that we think you're going to be in 16 hours in the fall, 12 hours in the spring. We think you're going to be a full-time student living on campus, which is R. Some of the students might have a C or a P for commuter/parent. But it does tell you what we've accepted or you've accepted. If you have declined any of those loans or work programs, it would show that as well with a little line crossed off, and it would not be included in those totals. Again, at the very top, you can kind of look at an estimate of your costs that we're kind of planning for you. Then this is that estimate of cost. So as you kind of look at it, what it tries to do is, again, explaining to you, we think you're going to be a full-time resident student or a full-time commuter student. It does go through each charge for fall, spring, and the year. And then that would be tuition fees, room board, etc., all your grants and scholarships, any loans that you may have accepted. It goes through and talks about work study, how you can pay your bill. And we're going to go through that in a little bit more detail. So just looking at that very top section of your specific information, this example again says that they're going to be a residential student, a full-time student, both fall and spring. So tuition for each semester is $16,880 for a grand total of $33,760. All of our full-time students are charged that fee of $750 each semester, or $1,510 for the academic year. We do throw in an estimate of books of $400 a semester. Students are allowed to charge their books to their student account if they wish to do that through our bookstore. They can buy new, they can buy used, they can pre-order their books if they want to. Some students use the information from our bookstore website to purchase their books elsewhere, and that's okay too. So we're just helping you plan for those expenses. If you know you are going to buy your book somewhere else, you can cross off that line item because those costs you'll take care of someplace else. Some of you may have a vehicle on campus, a car or a truck or whatever. Right now, parking is $100 for the fall semester, but it is actually good for the whole year. And so if you will need a parking pass, assume that to be true. If not, you can remove that $100 fee as well. We also plan for the standard room as being a double, meaning two-person occupancy with air conditioning. For those students who do not have air conditioning, it's actually $600 less expensive. So that would be one part of Rodman and the complex residence center here. And so definitely take a look at where you're living and adjust accordingly. In the future, if you get to be an upperclassman and want to live in one of our apartment buildings, that would be an additional $400 for the year. And so just kind of plan around that. As we talked a little bit about the meal plans earlier, the meal plan is for a full meal plan is $2,400 each semester or $4,800 for the academic year. And so again, they all cost the same. You just get to pick and choose which plan you have. Those plans can change every semester. So again, the first week of each semester, you kind of determine which one you want, lock it in, and then that's what you would have for that semester. Okay. The next section kind of walks you through the financial aid package. So we would offer you grants or scholarships, maybe a Pell Grant, an Iowa Tuition Grant, maybe you were a Founders Award winner. And so it just walks you through all that gift assistance that we know about on your behalf. So each semester it would show half and half typically for fall and spring. With the loans, you might see on your award letter that, hey, wait a minute, I was awarded a $3,500 subsidized Stafford loan. On this, it shows a little bit less than that. And on this document, we actually plan for the upfront fees that the government charges before you actually receive your money. So for example, the Stafford loan does have just over a 1% fee. And so that's why you only will receive, again, about 1732 instead of 1750 each semester, or 3464 over the academic year versus 3500. And the same is true for the unsubsidized loan. It's 990 for the fall after they take out the fees. The original amount would have been $1,000 each semester. As you go up in grade level, a freshman can get a total of $5,500 between sub and unsub. And then as a sophomore, $6,500 between sub and unsub loans, and $7,500 between sub and unsub loans for juniors and seniors. And so each grade level that you change into or advance into, we will update your loans appropriately for those grade levels. So this gives you an idea of kind of what it costs with books, parking, kind of the miscellaneous things that we figure out for you guys for each semester. You may have noticed that, wait a minute, my work study is not included. And we just highlight that because we do offer students around $2,000 typically for federal work study. And that means you're going to work on campus probably between 10 and 12 hours a week. But we pay you every month as you work. And so if you choose to use your work study to pay your bill, you can sure do that. And that could reduce your bill up to $2,000. Or some of the students want it for gas and pizza and maybe a new shirt once in a while. So that's a discussion between you and your folks about how you want to handle the work study, or maybe you don't want to work on campus, and that's okay too. Most of our job opportunities in a normal given year, not COVID, we employ probably between 700 students annually. And so many of our students work, our typical payroll is about $1 million. And so we have lots of jobs available both on campus and off campus, day positions, night positions that will work around your academic and maybe even your talent area. So if you're out for music or maybe you're out for football or something like that, they will work around your personal schedule to kind of help you fit those in. So let us know if we can help you in any way. As I said before, with the subsidized loans and the unsubsidized loans from the government, those loans do charge just over 1% for that upfront fee. If you are taking out a Parent Plus loan, they charge up to 4.228%. So just keep that in mind, and we'll show you a little bit more about that in just a second. Another charge that might be assessed on your bill, occasionally a class will have a specific fee or private music lessons. So if you are planning to take private music lessons, they run anywhere from $590 to $1,520 per academic year. So definitely take a look at that. If you have a unique situation and are in a private room, those are additional costs as well. And like I said, class fees or art fees are a few little minor things that typically happen too. The next part of that worksheet is at the bottom that we'll go through, and that is just different ways that you can kind of help pay your bill. So work study could be used as part of this payment. Another thing might be maybe you're still getting some private scholarships to help you assist with your balance. Any of those things we need to know about, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but that definitely can help reduce your payments or what you owe before you take out a loan. Maybe you just had a graduation party and you want to use some of that to take care of it. Maybe you're working this summer and are going to to use some summer earnings to help you cover your balance, those work study dollars. Maybe mom and dad or grandpa and grandma have a 529 plan that you'd like to use to help pay your bill. All of those are great things. Additional things to think about might be military benefits. If a parent or yourself are qualifying for military benefits, that is optional as well. We work a lot with voc rehab, employer reimbursement. So all of those things can help reduce your bill before we actually finalize what your fall balance is versus your spring balance. Or if you wanted to set up a monthly payment plan, we also do those kinds of things, as you can see. So if you're just going to pay by semester, again, our fall balance would be due September 30th. Our spring balance would be due February 15th. Some families want to set up a 10-month or an 8-month interest-free payment plan. And to set those up, it costs $50 or $100, depending on which plan you'd like to utilize. So if you allow us to take the money out of your bank account once a month, that would be a $50 setup fee. If you want to just make a check payment or cash payment every month, that's a setup fee of $100. And then again, the 10-month would run July through April, and it's typically 10 equal payments. Or the 8 monthly payment plan would run September through April. And again, that is just 8 monthly payments from September through April. Some families we worked with recently, so this is a new thing for us, we allow families to also create their own payment arrangements. So, for example, we have a family who pays all their bill in the fall but wants to split up their spring balance over 4 or 5 months. So, we can do that too. So, really, the business office is so wonderful to work with families. The payment plan agreement link is literally on that document as you log in as well. And so, once you fill that out, then you'll work with the business office each month on how you're going to handle that monthly payment. And they'll just help you as much as they possibly can too. So for some families, they want to take out a parent loan or even a private loan. So remember when I said those Parent Plus loans have just over 4% of an upfront fee. So this amount takes into account that full balance up above, takes that 4% fee, and that's the amount you'd need to borrow to cover both the fee and the balance up above. So that's where that we're getting that amount from. Another option, like I said, is alternative loans. So sometimes it's a student getting the rest of the bill paid with a student loan. Most generally, though, the student would have to have a qualified cosigner to go ahead and borrow through that program. And those links there listed will also give you many opportunities to compare the different loan companies that are offered to families. So I know we've covered a lot, so I apologize, but we'll just kind of walk you through it. And we go, if you have questions, just call our business office or our financial aid office, and we're here to help you. At the end of the slide, it'll give the contact information for the staff members here in financial planning, as well as in our business office for your assistance. Another thing, like I said, we'll just go through those options again. Many of our families, I should have said this too, many of our families do a combination plan. And so, like for me, when my daughter went to Morningside, I was divorced. So I paid a monthly plan. My ex husband paid the fall balance and the spring balance. So he just paid by semester. And then my daughter got a small loan for her portion of what she was going to pay. So, three different ways we paid her bill, and that's totally fine. And that's probably actually the norm here at Morningside, is a combination of things to get it to work out. So again, we'll just go through those combinations of things. Ways to pay the account balance: pay once each semester. The balance in the fall is due September 30th, or spring is due February 15th. And again, if you take summer classes, it's due at the end of July. Again, we offer those set up interest-free payment plans. That could be an 8-month plan, a 10-month plan, or maybe you've created your own with the business office. You can apply for the Federal Plus loan, which is a parent loan that the parents would borrow to cover the balance. I did want to mention with that one too, if the Parent Plus loan is ever approved, you typically can borrow whichever amount you need. If for any reason it would be declined, the student automatically qualifies for additional funding through their own student loan. And so that's just an option to think about. If you do have some credit things, we can talk to you a little bit more about that in detail personally if you'd like to. Some of the families, like I said, apply for a private loan, and we have a link to our list of private loan companies that we use a lot of. Our website does allow you to compare different companies' interest rates, if it's fixed or variable, those kinds of things. But again, if it's the student borrowing through that program, they typically would require a credit-worthy cosigner, and a parent, of course, would qualify based on their qualifying credit. So just to kind of give you more information about those monthly payments, this is kind of a synopsis of the payment plan agreement form. It's very simple. You click on that link, and again, it's available on the campus website that you're logging into. We can send it to you, but it's available everywhere. But the student account payment plan agreement just gives a little bit of information from the student. So their ID number is typically on their award letter if that's helpful to find it. We would obviously want their name, information, address, phone number, contact stuff, things like that. And then, of course, the phone number for who's actually making the payment, telling us what the amount of payment you wish to do each month. If it's a 10-month, 8-month, or create your own kind of thing, telling us if you want to do it via debit or if you want to do it via check plan. So that's also very important. And then obviously go ahead and submit it, and then the business office will reach out with you to kind of set that all up officially. Again, just different loan options for those students and parents who want to go through a different option. If they are doing a Parent Plus loan, which is the federal direct Parent Plus loan, the parent would go to studentaid.gov and log in with the parent user ID and password, the same one that the parent signed the student's FAFSA with. So not the student's login, but the actual parent's login. Another option, like I said, are private loan options, whether that be a student loan with a cosigner or a parent taking out a private loan. Here are the different lists of companies that we have been utilizing. You can choose other ones as well. If you'd like to use another company that isn't listed, please contact us, and we'd be happy to try to work with you on that too. Other things to review and look at are my billing. So as you can see, this one still says fall 2020 charges spring 21, May term of 2021, and summer of 2021. That's because we're still in the summer term. And so once the summer term is done and completed, then the registrar will actually roll this information to look for fall of 21, spring of 22, and summer of 22, etc. And as you click on those red links of fall 21, etc., it will actually give you the detail for each term separately, which is kind of nice. Obviously, this also allows you to make a payment or click on that make payment now and actually make an electronic payment. You will notice if you choose that, it'll give you a few options. Do you want to do it with an electronic check, which there's no additional fee for that, and you can pay whenever you want, even at midnight. It's very convenient. If you choose to use a debit card or a credit card, though, they do charge a 2.75% convenience fee, just so you know that. Another really nice feature about this is that you can also view your statement. And so if you want to view a statement, it'll actually give you the full detail of everything that has happened this academic year. Another thing that we wanted to share with you at the end of each academic year, at the end of each tax year, so at the end of 2021, you will get a notification as the student that you will have a 1098-T form available for you. Most parents want to use that for their tax purposes to get a tax break because of education credits that you may qualify for. So that's where you'll find those. Typically, if it asks you for any sort of security number, it's your social security number. Just kind of keep that in mind. And then kind of giving you some timelines. So in May, we have families turn in verification. We have you start submitting tax information. If needed, we would request that from your family. You may start filling out your entrance counseling and your master promissory note information from studentloans.gov. And then also your federal teach grant information, your private scholarship form if you haven't already done that. June, for example, we have you complete or come to one of our summer enrollment days. We review the different ways to pay as we've kind of talked about before. July, the 10-month payment plan starts on July 15th if that's something you want to do. August, you might need to start contacting your private scholarship organizations to make sure they have everything they need to send us their funding. And those would come to the financial planning office, and you can drop those off anytime. We would update your financial aid award letter to include those, and then obviously that would adjust what you can see on Campus Web as to what is left over for your balance each semester. Just review Campus Web My Financial Aid forms to make sure everything's been submitted. Make sure you've accepted all of your award screens. Most of the students will move in by August 22nd. You validate your enrollment August 24th, and school starts August 25th. The other thing that happens in August is we have a job fair for students interested in working that runs from 11:30 to 1:30 in the Yaki room at Olson Student Center. We'll remind you about that. Again, tuition fees, room and board are billed the first day of school, each semester or term. Again, you can charge your textbooks the first week of school if you want to do that, or you can buy or rent books. You can get new or used books, so however you want to do that. Other charges might also be occurring on that time frame as well: music lessons, class fees, parking permits, etc. If all of your paperwork is into our office in financial planning, then we can go ahead and get those scholarship and loan stuff done for you within the first 2 weeks of school each semester. In September, private scholarships typically that come in, whenever they come in, that's when they are applied to your account. Some of you may have set up an 8-month payment plan, which begins September 15th. If you haven't done any of those, your bill is due September 30th. Anybody who still owes us money that hasn't kind of been taken care of by that September 30th date would be charged that 18% annual percentage rate of a finance charge. Also, any balances over 1,000 are charged a $100 late fee per month. So that's incentive, so we can work out some other arrangement so you don't get those late fees and finance charges. Again, if you are using credit or debit card to pay your bill, it's a 2.75% convenience fee. So please just use an electronic check method or an actual check. October, it's time again to fill out the FAFSA for the next academic year, so keep that in mind. For those of you who are just paying by semester, your bill would be due February 15th for that spring semester. Student accounts with balances again after that February 15th would be billed those late fees and finance charges. We also provide a business office brochure during summer enrollment days to kind of give you frequently asked questions, billing information, things like that, how to take care of things. So that's always available too. We also have some general information that we pass out, including our contact information from all of our staff in our offices of the business office and student financial planning. So it goes through when the billing happens again. Your payment options are on the back side again. So just kind of reminding you of that. For those of you who might be interested in federal Teach Grant information, we tried to give you a link to look more into that. Let us know if you're interested in the federal Teach Grant. You do have to have a 3.25 GPA each semester or be in the top 75th percentile of your sub-score of ACT. Call us, we'll fill you in on what that really means. But each semester you can get up to $2,000 to help you if you're going to teach in a low-income school in a high-need field. So again, let us know if you're interested in any of that stuff if you want to become a teacher. Work study, like I said, there is a job fair August 26th from 11:30 to 1:30 in Olson Student Center, the Yaki room. We would have our payroll office there to help collect W-4 forms, I-9 forms, how you want to get paid. Driver's license, social security card would be examples of things you might need that day. If you are planning to work too, we would ask you to fill out a confidentiality agreement, keeping those things safely and securely with whatever office you work in. And then again, we're here to help you, like I said. So again, I'm Karen Wiese. This is our contact information for everyone in the financial planning office, as well as the accounts receivable office and the business office staff. So please let us know how we can help you. Anytime we'd like to visit with you, either over the phone, via email. We even do things like set up a Zoom meeting. So again, please let us know how we can help you. Thank you so much for taking the time to visit with me today. Bye.